Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast, a part of the Podcast Playground Network. Please give us that 5-star review. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your favorite podcast, which is this one right here. Also, follow us on Facebook, BJ and Bill, the podcast. And as always, you can email us, BJ and Bill, the podcast at gmail.com. And welcome. I don't know if this is lucky or not. Welcome to episode 113.
Oh, and as we record this, it's the week of Halloween, so all good. Here's the not scary part. Here's the interesting part that by the time we record the next, oh no, it won't be. It'll be the day before. I was going to say by the time we record the next podcast, the election will have happened, but it won't, right? Because the election's on a Tuesday always. So yeah. We will be recording the day before. Boy, maybe we should. Well, no, this isn't a political show. I was almost going to say something stupid like maybe we should wait, but it's going to be a week before we find out who won the election anyway. So I don't know.
I'm more worried about the amendment. Can we smoke pot or not? That's all I want to know.
I've actually heard and we're talking in Florida, there's this amendment 3 or 4, I forget which one it is, but something about making pot completely legal and state regulated and all of that. Now, anytime the state gets involved, I'm worried. So I don't know. And I've heard, and I don't, trust me, I have no dog in this fight. I do not smoke pot at all. One tidbit doesn't matter to me. But I've heard that the state is going to very much clamp down on people who might, shall we say, independently grow their own and that sort of a thing, should this be approved. So.
Can I give my 2 cents on the whole sense?
Of course. It's your show.
Since it's our show. It's not my show.
You go. It's our show.
Now you're starting to sound like a wife.
Tim decision. Your show. You do what you want. It's your show. I'll just complain later.
As Bill kills me.
All right. Anyway.
So
as someone who has
partaked, I'll admit it.
Yes.
In my younger days, quite often. Yes. I'm going to give you a little story.
I'm listening.
So I'm going back to my probably teen years, maybe my young 20s, but it was my teen years. Yes, it was, because I was still living at home and I was, still under my parents' roof, and I was a little paranoid one night coming home. But let me give you the complete story. So I'm out with friends.
Yes.
They had a little bit of this weed, and so we partaked.
Of course. You could say smoked. It's fine.
Let's just say we were at a party and we were partaking.
Of course.
Well, what I like about the law is that it will be regulated.
Yes.
You can go out and buy marijuana that is straight marijuana.
Yes. I understand that concern. Yes.
So now listen to my story as I was
trying it.
Yeah. I was trying it for the first time. Yeah.
Let's
just go with that.
But you were definitely inhaling.
I was partaking.
Yes.
And did not know until later in the night when someone told me the information. They go, "You're going to get a good buzz off of this." It was laced with opium.
Oh, wow.
I saw a clock go backwards.
That's small potatoes. I mean,
I sat in the corner of the party going, I just want to come down. I just want to come down. That's all I want. I just want to come down.
Right.
It seemed like I was high for 10 years. And of course, the next day someone said, "Oh yeah, man, how good was that?" I go, "It was like no stuff I never smoked before." And they go, "That's because it was laced with opium."
Oh
I'm
boy.
going, why would not one tell someone before they partaked if they knew that their marijuana was laced with opium?
Well,
So, and I have always been under the belief ever since that day, back as a young teenage child,
whippersnapper, yes.
that it needs to be legalized, and it needs to be legalized and regulated so people won't go out and say, "Hey, try some of this. It's really good stuff." Now, of course,
Right.
nowadays could be, opium, could be,
Could be.
opioids, whatever. It could be anything.
Yeah.
And
All
I
of
know
that terrible
I know
stuff.
I'd heard of pot also being laced with, back in the, I'm back in the 70s, people, with acid,
Right.
mescaline, things
Right.
like that. Of course, in marijuana, in Indiana, marijuana grew on the ditch banks, and, it wasn't the strongest. So kids did try to do, hype it up a little bit by adding a little
And
extra ingredients. So
can't imagine where they got those other ingredients from, but yeah, I hear
neither do
you.
I, because I wasn't getting them.
I hear you.
But I'm a firm believer in legalizing pot and regulating it. So when you go and buy it in a dispensary,
Right.
you're going to get what you are buying.
Yes.
You're not going to get whatever the hell some Tom, Dick, or Harry, or Bill wants to put in it, if you're like out there smoking their stuff.
I understand. I do.
I would rather take it out of a package that says,
Right.
made by BJ Rolling Tobacco Company.
I guess the question, so here's my question, and that is, if this is all approved, will it change the way anybody can buy it? Do I still, because I know in Florida they have that medical marijuana card. You have to get a doctor's approval, permission, blah, blah, blah. It's I know it's meaningless. I get that. Anybody can really get it if you want. But yours truly, I don't know about BJ Odom. I couldn't just walk into one of these cannabis stores, and believe me, I'm in Gainesville, Florida. We have plenty of them. I couldn't just walk in and say, "Oh, I'll take one of those and one of those and one of those." You can't do it without the permission, the card, the medical marijuana card. Will that change?
Yeah,
or will I still have to have that kind of?
No, you won't. You won't have to have.
And
the
again,
card.
I'm not looking to go out and get it, so I'm just saying.
Maybe you should, Bill.
Maybe I should. I know. I'm
hearing these stupid commercials. Oh, they're going to be in your restaurants, and they're going to be
smoking everywhere.
There is no smoking in restaurants, people. Right. I don't care if it's cigar, cigarette, or pot. If it's no smoking, it's no smoking.
Thank you.
Don't be telling children that, well, now your children can go into the store, into the restaurants, and then you'll have that marijuana smoke puffed right in your face. No, because there's a law that says there is no smoking in restaurants.
I get it. Good thought. Good. A good observation, BJ Odom. So I'm surprised that you had that kind of mental clarity. So good for you.
So, but I'm like I said, ever since that day,
right,
back in 1970 something,
right,
that BJ Odom was at a party. Somebody told me they had some pot, and I said, "Let me take," I participated when I was a young rock and roll star playing rock and roll music in long-haired hippie bands. I did what they did.
Okay.
But I mean, after that experience,
right,
from that day on, I said they need to legalize this. And so when you get it, you know what you're getting. You're not getting what someone cooked up, in their house. But I mean, I still, if you want to grow your own and smoke your own, then I don't think that, I think, what are they going to do if they pull you over? Well, that doesn't look like that is packaged correctly. That looks like they're not going to, if you put it, just buy one bag and then grow all your pot you want to and say, hey, it's in the nice little bag and look at the buds. They look the same. And it's not like, I don't know. I just
look at you. You're already thinking about ways to get around the law. I love that about you.
See, I'm just frustrated of all this, the way I look at it.
Right.
And this is like all the other, if you've never partaken, I don't think you really should be judging or talking about it.
I've heard that kind of thinking applied to a lot of things, and sometimes that goes down quite a deep, dark rabbit hole.
Let's just say this.
Right.
If I had my choice between going into a store
Right.
and buying a bottle of booze or a bag of pot, well, first of all, I would eat gummies because putting smoke in your lungs is not good for you.
Not good for you.
But the gummies,
Right.
that's a whole different animal that I would partake in.
And I will put my hand up and confess to the fact that, yes, I have had more than a couple of gummies in my day, and mixed results, I'll say. They take a long time to go into. Now, I've heard they have more fast acting ones now. I've heard, but they take a long time. You're sitting around for an hour going, I don't feel anything.
Yeah, but you can also get creeper weed.
You could get what?
Creeper weed.
What the hell is that?
Okay, I'm gonna acknowledge you today.
Although I think you've told this story before, but go ahead.
Yeah, creeper weed is weed you can smoke, and you're going, man, I'm not getting high from this, and then, and you're
Right,
and then all of a sudden it boom. I mean it goes boom basically.
It creeps up on you.
It creeps up, and then you know it's there.
Okay,
and you're going,
cool.
oh my God, I should have never said this ain't doing nothing. Let me try some more. I should have just. Would you have please told me it was creeper weed?
So there you go. So obviously then there's lots of things to be sorted out with this law yeah. All right. Well, there you go in Florida. So,
I will also say
yes,
that I have not partaked since I had my transplant, just due to the fact they told me that they could drug test me at any time I get a blood test, anytime I go to the hospital.
right.
They could test me.
Yes.
And if I was ever, discovered to have, any pot residue in my body.
Illicit substances.
Yeah,
well,
illicit
pot's not
substances.
illicit,
Yeah,
but-
also all sorts of drugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I take enough to stay alive that they give me. But if it was one that wasn't on their chart, I could be banned from all transplants. Of course, I'm pretty much at the age now where I'm getting probably pretty close to being banned from all transplants. But I took that.
Have they ever randomly?
I
drug
have
tested?
no idea, because they said they'd do it randomly, and they don't.
Oh, you mean it's part of another when they take your blood for something else?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It makes sense. They don't, some guy that's high all the time. Why would we give a new heart to somebody who's going to smoke weed every day of the week and be high all the time?
Because
How
what are
they
you
would've
saying,
said-
DJ? People who smoke weed don't deserve to live? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. That's what the doctors told me. So I'm
Okay.
like, okay, I might need another kidney. I might need another heart.
I hear you.
I better be good.
We're not making any judgments here, people. We're just telling you what the rules are and what he's heard from his medical team and all of that stuff.
So, but yeah,
it's all good.
if that was not one of the rules, I would every once in a while, but I would protect, like I said, I wouldn't put smoke in my lungs. I would do gummies.
I hear you. Yeah.
I mean, that's personal. That's not saying what everybody else should do. My personal preference.
I on the rare times that I have tried it, and I think I tried smoking it like once back in college, and then actually within the last 2 or 3 years, there was another party I was at, and again, 1 or 2 puffs, and it's like, not for me. That's where we had the gummies too, so it's all good. So anyway, there you go.
Yep.
Quite the story. Listen to us having a whole 15-minute conversation about politics. No.
Well, it
about
wasn't about
weed.
politics. Hey,
About weed.
hey, man, that's got nothing to do with politics, man.
Well, it just shows that politics has something to do with everything.
When is getting high politically incorrect, man?
That's welcome to 2024. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much the way the whole world works nowadays. So anyway, I don't, I don't care if you got a dog in this fight or in any political fight. So just, get out there, vote, do your thing, whatever. Good
If
for
you still got time, probably by the time people hear this, they'll have already voted.
by the time they hear, and I was out driving around. What's today? Well, as we record this, it's a Monday, of course. On Saturday, drove past my local library, which was serving as a polling place, and good God, the place was packed with people voting early, and the sign carriers and the people waving, various banners at you and stuff as you drove by, and I'm like, wow. So anyway,
people, you don't need to put anything else on Facebook. You don't need to,
Right.
do anything else, because Wednesday, the wife and I, we did our thing.
You've already voted.
Yeah, we voted on Wednesday. And actually, we walked in, got handed a ballot.
Right.
We showed our ID. We got
Right.
handed a ballot. We sat down.
Right.
We did what we did. And then we went and we put it in the machine. And, we walked out and got the little sticker.
There you go.
Took us maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Good for you.
And like I said, we didn't stop at all. We stopped at the desk to sign in.
Right.
You can't even get into a doctor as fast as it took us to vote.
Wait, they checked your ID. I don't want to get into politics. Apparently that's a thing now. It's like unregistered people, but whatever. Never mind, people. I do not want to go down that rabbit hole, and I will not go down that rabbit hole.
Well,
so there you go.
Here's my question.
Yes, he's going to go down the rabbit hole.
Well, no, I'm going down a different rabbit hole.
Okay.
And I hope this doesn't happen anyway. But I was thinking as I was voting, I've been having this AFib and things like that over the last several weeks.
Yes.
So if I kick the bucket before Tuesday, am I one of the dead people who have voted?
Yes, you will be a dead people voting. I see dead people and they're voting. Yes, you would be. That's and now that you mention it, I mean, that has to happen at some time,
yes.
right?
Yeah, because not even, you don't even have to have health reasons. You can walk out of the polling place and walk right in front of a big old semi doing, 90 mile an hour, and boom, and you're going, holy shit, man, I didn't see that coming.
Hit by the proverbial beer truck and it's over.
Yeah.
I know, right? I know. So yes, I imagine that probably happens. It's got to happen. I mean, statistically speaking, how many old people or people with various diseases are voting?
Even a young person, a person 18 voting for the first time can walk out and get hit by a bus.
Also,
and they're going to be as dead as an old fart getting hit by the bus.
Just as, look at you, philosopher BJ Odom this morning, just as dead.
He's
awesome.
not dead. He's only 18 years old. But look at the old guy. He's sure dead in front of the bus.
Both of them.
They got hit
18
together.
or 88. They both step in front of the same bus. Just as dead. just as dead voters. Wow. You're on a roll this morning.
I'm
You're
on
a roll.
fire, baby. I got some green tea. I haven't had green tea in a while.
Green tea. I'm investigating, and it's not that kind of mushrooms. I'm investigating mushroom tea. Actually, it's mushroom
tea?
coffee. It's mushroom coffee. They mix a blend of medicinal mushrooms in with a little bit of coffee, and I've had it in the past. It's pretty darn good, and I'm thinking about it again. It's supposed to be good for your brain, good for your mental sharpness.
But is that legal?
Of course it's legal. It's not magic mushrooms. It's not those kind of mushrooms. It's good ones.
Why would you want to do that then?
I always think that when it comes to pizza. Why would you want to mess up a perfectly good pizza with mushrooms on it? But people do it.
Yeah, I do. I love mushrooms on pizza.
See? Those aren't magic mushrooms.
You know what? Since I'm feisty this morning, I'm just going to admit it right here on the podcast.
Go for it.
I've had pineapple on my damn pizza, and I've enjoyed that too.
Oh my God. I'm not sure we can still be.
So take that to the polling and stick it.
I'm not sure we can still be friends after all these years. I don't know. Pineapple on pizza. What kind of heathen are you?
Oh,
okay, fine. Whatever.
Ham. I don't know what it is. That combination.
Ham and pineapple.
Ham and pineapple.
Sweet, salty.
Oh man.
It's the sweet, salty thing. It is.
And you add that to a pizza? Oh.
No.
You know what? I'm going to have to eat pizza today. Thanks a lot, Bill Stevens.
It's not you brought it up. I was talking about shrooms, and you thought they were like the
Well,
magic. Whatever.
now I will admit that I've never done those,
I haven't either.
but I've been around plenty of people who have.
Aha. Did they talk to God?
No, but they talked to me. She was quite friendly.
Oh,
And
okay.
yes, if you are listening to this podcast, Susan, that was before we met.
Oh, look at you covering your ass there. That's good. That's good. Okay, fine. All right.
I'm just
Wow.
saying I'm just saying she was friendly.
Friendly. That's one of my favorite bumper stickers. The Hooters waitress is not coming on to you. She's friendly. It's her job.
Actually, she was a bartender.
Okay.
I don't want to give the name away, but she was a bartender at the Crown Lounge, and I was quite enamored by her.
Enamored. Wow. That would have been 40 years ago.
Oh, more than that, probably. No, it'd have to be more than 40 years ago. Wait a minute.
No, it could 40. 40 is enough.
Well,
I don't know
Yeah.
that. Not for you. I don't know that.
well, no. It had to be more than 40 years.
Really, I moved to Fort Myers in 82.
That was about
So
the
that
same-
would have been 42 years ago.
So yeah, so
So it could have been right there.
it was like it was at the beginning of my Fort Myers stint,
at the Crown Lounge. Wow.
before I had met a certain woman.
Before you'd met a certain woman whom you have been happily married to all these years. Say it with
Yes.
me, folks.
I just want to make sure that I was not with anyone taking shrooms after I said I do. Well, I might have been, and I just didn't know it, but that time I knew it.
Okay. All right,
Oh,
that's
man.
fine.
Can I just shut up? Why don't you just talk
think-
the rest of it's not my show any longer. You talk the rest of the hour.
I'm pretty sure that over the years, I have told BJ Odom this quote more times than I can remember. And that is, BJ, when you find yourself in a hole, stop digging.
Yeah, but it's so much fun.
I understand. It can be fun. Yes, I get. Bring up some little old fun stories there. There you go. So, all right,
You
cool.
got me started with the pot.
I got you started. Yeah, no, wait a minute.
Yeah, you
we
mentioned
might
it.
need to rewind the tape and see who started this pot conversation. It doesn't matter. Whatever. We're having a good time.
I'm gonna change right now
Please.
because it's almost Halloween. We're going into the Halloween weekend.
Yes, please.
Most popular Halloween costumes at Walmart. Are you ready for this?
Sexy what?
Well, no.
That's always a sexy something or other. Anyway, what?
But I didn't say it all. Pet Halloween costumes.
You mean costumes for your pet?
Yeah.
I have seen some genius ones on like Twitter and YouTube and all that, where they get the dog dressed up and it looks like he's standing up because it's got arms out the front. And when he walks, the arms move, and they're hilarious. Some of them are super, super creative. So buying a pet costume.
I can't believe this is number one.
What's that?
But it says it's the most popular pet costume out there for Halloween 2024.
And it is
A cow.
a cow.
Yeah, that's pretty lame, isn't it?
It's funny you mentioned that, though. I had friends in Fort Myers back in the day, and they adopted a race dog.
Oh,
You know,
a greyhound?
A what?
A greyhound?
A greyhound or a
Yeah, that's what
greyhound,
they-
or what's the other one?
That's
a
what they
whippet.
used to race. Now, a whippet, they didn't race. The greyhounds, they did.
Greyhound,
But a
okay.
whippet is basically what it is. It's a smaller, and it looks just like a greyhound. And
Okay.
it's a smaller greyhound.
You are the dog expert. I am not. So I'm going to say it's a greyhound, and he was white with black spots, just like a cow. So they put horns on him and an udder on the backside.
You mean he had
The dog
extra
went as a
udders?
cow, and he was perfect. He looked just like a cow. So that was great.
Okay.
What was his
Coming in
name? Boy, I
second
forget.
is-
What a good dog he was. And apparently part of their training or whatever, they don't, or maybe they're just maybe greyhounds are just naturally quiet, because he never barked. He barked once or twice and he looked surprised, like, what was that?
Now we had a miniature greyhound at one time,
A miniature greyhound. Okay.
and that thing wanted to bark all the time.
Small dogs bark all the time because they're always nervous. They're always, I don't know. I would never own a small dog.
That's like we got a small, a miniature Aussie now. And
Uh-huh.
that thing wants to bark a lot too. I don't know what it is, but that's usually when it's playing though. Oh, back to the costumes though, just to quickly.
Costumes for dogs. Yes.
Which is really weird that a cow is one, a cowboy, which is cowboy usually wrangles cows.
Yes.
And then guess what the number 3 costume is?
A cat.
A pig.
A pig.
What that? I mean, they're just doing E-I-E-I-O.
That's it. They're doing the whole barnyard thing.
Yeah. So a cow followed by a cowboy and a pig. The top 3
cowboy, pig.
most popular costumes for puppy dogs.
Yeah.
My wife and daughter, they think it's like, I'm like, why are you doing this? I'm not I'm not a big animal lover,
Right.
but even at that point, I go, the poor dog.
Right. He's embarrassed. You're embarrassing him in public.
Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, there's just some things in life that's wrong. And this is one of them.
Yeah. Dressing up dogs is one of them. Yeah. Yeah. That's so how are you going out to doing any trick-or-treating, and will you be dressing up as a pig or a cow or a dog or a cowboy?
Well, let me tell you, Bill Stevens.
Oh, there's a story here. Okay.
On the 31st, that's Halloween.
Yes.
Yours truly will be in a hotel, not worrying about trick-or-treaters.
Oh.
Because I'll have spent the entire morning at Tampa General Hospital.
Oh.
Then I'm spending the night only to go back at about 6 o'clock in the morning
Whew.
for my heart catheterization.
Oh, really?
On the 1st.
On the 1st of November.
So I'm basically going as a patient on Halloween.
I see. So, okay. Well, we'll expect like your pictures on Facebook there of, gosh, look at my great costume. It's not a costume. So, okay, great. Yeah.
Actually, I won't have I
catheterization.
won't have the costume on Halloween.
Okay.
Because everything I'm getting, 1 is blood, 2 is a chest X-ray, and 3 is a echocardiogram or whatever, where they
You know more
scan.
about that than
They have
all of us.
like when you look for a baby and they look at the baby,
Yes.
they do the same thing, but instead of the baby in the belly, they look at the chest and the heart going boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
Boom.
All right.
And I
That's
go,
cool.
oh man, look, it's a boy.
Still, like the Tin Man, we're still proving whether BJ has a heart or not.
Yeah. So that's going to be my festivities.
That's your festivities for the end of the month and the 1st of the month. So, and then the heart catheterization, or however you pronounce that.
I just call it a heart cath, really makes it easy.
They stick something in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They put it right up my groin.
Oh, ow. I can feel that from here. I mean, really.
Well, the good thing is, see, again, going back to the marijuana and the drug days,
Right.
as soon as I get rolled into the cath lab,
Yes.
my first question is, because there's usually like 4 or 5 people in there working away.
Right.
And I go, who's the bartender?
Who's got the good drugs?
And they go, oh, that would be Kathy. And I
Uh-huh.
go, yep, Kathy, as soon as you want to give me my cocktail, I'll be more than happy to indulge. And she goes, well, I got to wait till the doctor gets here. I go, oh, come on. Get happy hour. Let's start early. Why wait for the doctor?
Ah.
Here is my number one concern.
Yes.
And there's been a couple times that I haven't got my bartender to serve me in time.
Oh.
Because they are also, it doesn't matter when they feel around down there, that I can handle when they're pushing,
Feel around.
But then
I'm being creeped out.
But then they get a little, well, no, it's a long one. They get a needle, okay? And they go, okay, we're just going to numb the area.
Oh.
And just the needle going into that area, even though it's not going into the, the main area, but
Right.
close enough,
Close enough.
it hurts like hell. And if I
Really?
get bartender to serve my cocktail before that shot, it's a world of difference.
I'll imagine it. I
Because
imagine it
once
would
you
be.
get that shot, you don't even care. You
You-
doing my yin yang. I don't care.
I don't
You
care.
can put that needle anywhere you want.
Okay. I don't know how we got started on this, but I'm sorry I did. So it's okay. Okay.
Well, that'll be my first question when I get rolled in on the first. Who's the bartender?
Set him up.
And I say, as soon as you see the whites of the eye of that doctor, you stick me as let the juices roll.
I think now is a good time to take a break so that we can all go to the bathroom and maybe just, wash our hands and face with a little cold water here. All right, folks, go refill your coffee, do whatever you need to do, and let that story sink in, and we will be right back. Welcome back. I'm Bill Stevens. That's BJ Odom. This is BJ and Bill, the podcast. If you would like to do so, we would love it if you would leave us that 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts, the iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube Music. We're on YouTube Music nowadays, too. So we are everywhere, and we would appreciate a good review from you, no matter where you pick up this podcast. And as always, visit us at Facebook. Just do a search, BJ and Bill Podcast. And as BJ mentioned earlier, we're also at bjandbillpodcast@gmail.com if you'd like to email. There you go. So anyway, all good. We went the whole first half hour and did not mention football.
I'm not sad because of it.
It was a tough day. It was a tough day. It was a tough day for Florida football yesterday. Everybody lost.
Well,
Bucks lost, Jags lost, Miami lost.
one good thing.
One good thing.
There's one good thing in football over the weekend.
Tell me.
The Gators did not lose.
They did not lose because they did not play.
Hey, a no loss is a no loss. Right?
You're right. No, you're totally right. You're totally right. And helps the coach keep his job for another week. I don't imagine him being the coach next year, but we'll see. There's still time that he might pull a rabbit out of a hat. You never know.
Coaches are a lot like radio personalities. When you're winning, they love you. When you're not, they don't like you at all.
You got one foot out the door already. And in football, in college football, well, in all football, but in college football coaches are like the highest paid guy in the state. I mean, literally, the highest paid public employee in virtually every state is the head football coach of the university. The Ohio State University head football coach. He's probably the highest paid guy in the state, period. Doesn't matter. Louisiana, Texas, Ohio, California, highest paid guy in the state is probably on the public record is probably the head football coach.
Wow. Just
they're
think
making
of Florida.
Money. They're making money. Florida has
you got some major, you got some major colleges in Florida.
Yes, yeah. Miami's a private, so that doesn't really count. But between Tallahassee and here in Gainesville, you got some big people making big. It's a huge bit. And one of the, and I'm not going to name. Well, you wouldn't know if I named her. One of the ladies who I play pickleball with on one of my regular nights actually tried to pull that line. That actually tried to pull that criticism on me. Oh my God, look at how much money they're spending on men's football at the university. Okay, I said, all right, I got you. Yeah, because the millions and millions and millions of dollars that Gator men's football team makes is supporting your ladies lacrosse and ladies synchronized swimming, because it's all in the same athletic department budget. And without the men's football team making millions of dollars a year, there would be no ladies sports in so many different areas. And that kind of ended that conversation. And I gave myself a little check mark and walked away.
I don't know though. I might enjoy this synchronized swimming if they got bikinis on.
I know I do.
Or being
I
a
know. I
couple.
mean, I love that sort of thing. But I'm saying, who pays for that? Because the fans aren't coming out to see ladies volleyball. Well, volleyball, they might. They might come to see ladies volleyball or basketball. But they certainly ain't coming to see, ladies equestrian or whatever. I don't know.
I might. I don't know. I might be coming to Gainesville to see you so I can see a ladies basketball game.
Yes, and I know why, since Shaq's daughter is going to be playing with the Lady Gators coming this season very soon. So that's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, I've already told my son that we need to go
Come
check
up.
out a game. Yeah,
Absolutely. And if I'm not there, you're both dead men. So there you go. I'm just saying. Because, I've been working for Shaq for years now and I've never met the man. So it's like, I kind of need to get, something somewhere.
My daughter had a chance to meet him a couple of weeks ago, but they had already made plans with another couple and they just wasn't ready to, cut the cord to say, hey, all right, I know it's last minute, but we can't do what we were going to do with you.
All right. I would reshuffle plans, but I'm just a single guy. I get it. So it's whatever but that's just me. So anyway, we were talking.
He was in Orlando.
What's that?
He was in Orlando last week.
He still has, we're talking about Shaq. He still has ideas about buying the Orlando Magic, or at least being part of an ownership team. Of course, the family that owns it, the DeVos family, has no intention of selling at this point, but I think he just wants to keep his name, like, hey, just in case, whenever you get around to it, I'm here. So anyway, we'll see.
I think it would be cool if the rumor was true, or, there was a little bit of talk that he'd like to own a team with the Shark Tank guy.
Oh yeah, with Cuban.
Yeah.
I saw, and actually it was Mark Cuban who even said that, because he was the owner of the Dallas Mavericks and he sold the team. He sold majority stake. He's still like head of basketball operations or something like that. He's still with the team in a management job. But on the Shaq Fu radio blog, gee, I wonder where that came from. There was a story about how Cuban was interviewed and said, would you still be interested in ownership? And he said, yeah, if Shaq's involved, I'll do it. So cool for him. Cool for him. So anyway, yesterday, you and I texting as we usually do before the start of the Buccaneers game, all excited, ran up the score 10-0 to get started. I think it was 10-0.
No, not last week.
No.
Yeah, because they scored first.
Yes.
The Bucs did not score first. They fumbled.
Yeah, that's true.
They fumbled.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of
Atlanta scored.
It's all a blur to me now. It's all a blur to me.
Yeah, it would not. I mean, there was times Baker looked like a great quarterback.
Yes.
And there was times Baker looked like a rookie quarterback.
Yes.
The only thing that Baker needs to learn to do is close out a game, something which Tom Brady has always been very good at. Also, Patrick Mahomes has always been very good at.
Yes.
But Baker Mayfield, as much as I wish I could take back my jersey, but I can't. But Baker needs to learn how to close out a game.
Yes.
And if he could do that,
yes.
if he could get there, my friends, he might be the total package.
He might, but he's not yet.
Yeah, he can't close out games.
He's good, but not. I mean, you would put him in that category. Good, but not great. Good,
yep.
Yeah, good, but not great. So anyway, lost to Atlanta yesterday.
I will admit this. I've followed Tampa Bay now for the last 20 plus years.
Yes.
I've seen them have worse quarterbacks.
Oh, yes. Lots of them. Well, we shouldn't be mean about it, but yeah, they've had some really lean years at that particular position. And now that they've got this, now they got Baker, I think they thought that their prayers were answered, and they might be, but he's still got some growing to do. Yeah. So
he can impress you for like 2 or 3 runs, and all of a sudden, oh my God.
Right. So former Cleveland quarterback comes to Tampa Bay. Former Tampa Bay quarterback, Jameis Winston, goes to Cleveland. and wins yesterday against the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, that
I
was
so thrilled.
Oh, I never.
I know you don't care. You were
I've never been
long
a
gone
fan.
by
I've
then.
never been a fan of his, even when he was with the Bucks.
I yeah. Former Seminole, former FSU. I got to agree with you. He never did any, and I mean, he's kind of had the Baker Mayfield travels. He's been around different places. He's never found a real home. Cleveland is obviously not his real home, at least. Well, it is for the rest of the year, maybe, but we'll see. But yeah, I've not ever been a huge fan of his either. But of course, when you win, then people love you. And
Yeah.
when, yeah, like you said, it's like radio. When you're winning, they love you. When you're not so much.
We're going in another direction.
And on a football team, when you're going in another direction and that direction is losing, that's not the direction you want to go. So you're going to turn things around. I hear you. Yeah. For those who don't know, folks out there listening, that going in another direction is the euphemism, good word, that radio managers tell on-air personalities that they have been fired, but they don't want to say, like Donald Trump, you're fired. They don't want to say that. They just say, we're going in a different direction, one that doesn't include you. So pack your bags.
I've heard that speech more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe twice, maybe 3 times,
maybe
4.
twice. I've heard it. Yeah. More than
I
that.
don't know how many times I've heard it.
It's just, yeah, whatever. So yeah.
I always like it though. I always like it when I'm the guy going in going, I'm going in another direction.
Oh yeah. There's that. That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one. So I've done that once or twice too. Had to do it in the same town once. And so I kind of had to ask permission because we kind of had that little contract, that non-compete thing when I was in Phoenix, but they weren't too worried about it because I was just a little peon of a guy. So anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
So you had a halfway decent. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but it was an all right football day. You had Cleveland win.
Cleveland won. Dallas lost again.
Oh man.
Are we just now, is the whole world now just looking at that for the comedy show that it is, the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, but there are still some people, although they're not as active on Facebook as they once were,
right?
That are still, and there are people that don't even live or never have lived in Texas or the Dallas area. That are, they're kind of like, at one time, there was a point in life where they were like America's team.
They still claim that name, although I think Patrick Mahomes might have something to say about that right now. But yeah, you're right. They used to be America's team in a big way, and now they're like a joke. They're America's joke for football. Anyway, we have a lot of jokes these days.
The owner just doesn't want to get out of the way.
Right. How isn't that? How often do we see that in life nowadays, that old white guys in their 80s just don't want to get out of the way? And it's scary. I mean, it's just not, I get it. Life is pretty good when you're on top and you don't want to step aside and let somebody else maybe do the things that the guy on top or the girl on top gets to do, although it's mostly guys. So it's going to be interesting. Good God, the next 4 years for this country is going to be interesting. That's for sure. Not that we want to talk politics, but here we are.
That's another reason why they should legalize marijuana.
Because if you're stoned, you just don't care. You don't care. That's a great point. I think depending on
nothing else, that's why you should vote yes on amendment. What is it? Amendment 3 or Amendment 4? I don't know.
Right. Exactly right. So, and you should, because then you can just spend the next 4 years stoned and you don't care. 4 years comes around, you go, hey, what happened? What did I miss?
I resemble that remark.
What did I miss? Nothing. Okay, cool.
Can I get a 4-year heart cath? That stuff you juice in me. Can I just get that for 4 years?
There you go. Wake
me up when 4 years is done.
I might just do the Rip Van Winkle thing and take like a 4-year nap. I think that's a good idea too.
Maybe we can buy a deserted island.
A deserted island. Well,
My luck, I'd buy it. Hurricane would just wipe out the whole island the next week.
That's a problem. That's an issue. Believe me. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I don't know if I heard it from my family last week. I have still the 2 cousins live up in Ohio, one in Cleveland, one in Columbus. And they were checking in with me after the latest storm. Of course, this was a few weeks ago, but I'm sure we've all had this with people who live around the world who are not in Florida, but see it on the news.
They all think you're dying.
What's that?
They all, oh my God, how are you? Oh, what are you going to get hit? I have no idea if we're going to get hit yet. You ain't going to know until like 4 hours beforehand.
Right. Exactly. Well, they were checking in a couple of days afterwards, thankfully, and it's like, no, I'm happy to report that I'm still standing, and so is my apartment and all of that stuff. And, this Florida life is getting a little weird. And they said, oh, you could come back to Ohio. And I went, yeah, no. I'll take hurricanes rather than snowstorms. But yeah, I could live somewhere else. I've had that thought the past few days, maybe past week. I've had the thought that I don't have to live in Florida anymore. I like it. I enjoy it, but I don't have to live here anymore. Where else could I go? I don't know.
But I don't know if I would even enjoy it. And of course, I'm too old to care now.
Well, don't say that, but go ahead. Tell us anyway.
But, I was thinking maybe do research on other countries.
Other countries. Now that's interesting. Where's
a country that's got, a healthy lifestyle, climate? I don't know. They're probably all the same. The government's going to get up your hiney.
Well, some are better than others in terms of they kind of just let things slide a little bit. Like I have a friend who spent, well, she's back in the States now. She's back in Texas, in Dallas, spent most of the spring and into the fall all over in Mexico, living in Mexico, and was not in one of the big touristy places, was in a place on the beach down on the west coast of Mexico. Don't ask me. I don't remember the name. It was that small. And she said it was mostly Canadian tourists who came there. But she loved it and, spent a monstrous, she had a 2-bedroom apartment because it was her and her mother, elderly mother. They spent a monstrous $400 a month on a very nice 2-bedroom apartment overlooking the beach. And if they really wanted to go out for a fancy dinner, it was $20 for high-end fancy dinner. But other than that, it was just like living. And people spoke, everybody spoke Spanish, of course. So, and she knows a little, but not enough. And she says, you learn to communicate with people. You do a lot of pointing.
Like, maybe that's why my wife has been working on her Spanish.
Oh, there you go. Go to Mexico. And I get it. I see that because I've seen a couple of YouTube videos from people who have moved around the world and they talk about, even if you were still like living a working person, a regular person, not an American, but I mean, as they talk to people who live and work in Mexico, real Mexican people, I mean, come on. They're like, yeah, I'm not making any money, but you Americans, you don't understand. I'm also not paying, $2,000 a month for rent and $1,000 a month for food. And, their expenses are ridiculously lower too. So it balances out, I guess. It's interesting. I'm not sure I'm ready for another country yet. I might be ready for another place in the United States. Just saying, just thinking out loud.
Well, my problem is that there's not much further south I can go.
I don't need to go further south. Why would you want to go further south? You've lived in Fort Myers for 25 years. More than that.
I kind of miss it, especially in the wintertime. But
Okay.
But
Okay.
I did talk to my son because, Shaq now has a beautiful home just outside of Atlanta since he's working for Turner Broadcasting. Who
Yep.
knows? I know they only got one more year on that contract and don't
He'll
know
find
what'll
something
happen
else.
for sure.
He'll find something else.
But, I was telling my son, I go, because we were talking about the price of insurance and
Right.
everything else in this state.
Right.
And I said, maybe it's time to start looking at Georgia, like maybe outside of Atlanta, like, Shaq, and find a little piece of property there and move Shaq Fu Radio and move your old man and get out of there.
And what I'm curious, what did your son have to say about that?
Maybe down the road, but not now.
Well, of course.
He's got he got lucky. He bought a piece of property and a house that was older, and he bought it probably for I don't know, I'm not going to say any prices, but let's just say this. He could probably sell it today for twice what he bought it for.
Oh, sure. And I mean, anybody who's owned a house or property in Florida, pretty much anywhere for any length of time. My ex, I know what we paid for that house, and I'm sure she could sell it for triple right now. The only problem is in Florida, and believe me, when I was married, we had this conversation. When the first time the Fort Myers real estate market went sky high, wow, we could sell this for triple what we paid. And then my wife, being the smart person she said, and what would we buy? And how much would we spend? Oh yeah, we'd have to spend the same thing. So anyway, I am the Georgia is on. Ooh, I've got Georgia on my mind as well.
I'm married, so I can't think about her.
Okay. Ray Charles, thank you so much. We love you. So I've got that on my mind. I've got I had one of my pickleball player friends and I were talking, and they had been on vacation visiting family, visiting their daughter who lives and works and goes to school in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And he said, it's so nice there. And I'm like, Chattanooga, Tennessee, would have never thought of it. And he's like, oh, it's fabulous. I'm like, okay, I'll do a little research on that too. So it's kind of,
if I wasn't allergic to cold weather,
right.
I would definitely, but of course, I got the kids still here in Florida, and that would be rough.
I understand.
But, I would think of the Tennessee hills.
Right. And you and I have friends in Gatlinburg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. Beautiful.
Well,
country.
Pigeon Forge,
Pigeon
which
Forge.
is basically Gatlinburg.
Same neighborhood. So yeah, I'm thinking of that. It's on my mind, and I admit that I'm kind of like a person who I'm the absolute opposite of you when it comes to this, BJ. I've been in this apartment now for when the lease is up, it will be 3 years when I've been in this, and I'm thinking to myself, that's enough. What's next? Where to now?
If I was a single young man or old man like me with no children, I would definitely be hopping around now and again.
I like seeing different areas, parts of the country, people, experiences, environments, trees, whatever, mountains, beaches. I like to see it all. I want to see it all. So yeah.
But I do have this thing about warm weather. I can't handle cold weather.
I get it. So
but the Tennessee hills would be my ideal.
So keep the condo in Fort Myers for the winter, and then do like everybody else does, and then live in the summer, live up in the hills of Tennessee where it's cooler, hopefully.
Well, I'll just say what would really be nice is if my wife didn't have all this stuff.
Oh, well, there's that.
And we bought a van, a camper van.
There's that.
Oh, a camper van.
There's that.
And you could just go from here to there, to here to there. And if it drove as good as my electric car where you just push a button and let it go, that would even be better.
They'll get there. They will get there in the next few years. So all you got to do is hang on for a few more years, and that will happen sooner than you think.
Oh, you had something because I know I had a story I was going to mention, but also you said you had something that you wanted to talk about last week, and we never got to it, and here we are almost at the end of the show, and we haven't got to it, so
Right.
let's get to it.
Okay. I gotta
Now you
find
don't
it
know where
now.
it
Way to
is.
put me on the whatchamacallit. Way to put me on the spot here. Here you go. But I did find it. It was an article, an online article on CNN of all places, and I was going to ask BJ if he would pay money for this because it is. Wait a minute. Come back. Damn it. Come back. Where did it go? There it is. Disney's new all access skip the line plan can cost more than the park ticket does.
I know. Yeah,
So-
I read that a while
Right.
back.
So my question to you, it says the pass is priced per day per person. So anyway, yes, we know that BJ Odom and spouse are big Disney people, and that's cool. I like Disney too, and I'm fine with that. I just don't go every, week like he does. But the Disney Lightning Lane Premier Pass, LLPP, Lightning Lane Premier Pass, priced per day per person based on date and demand, can range anywhere from $137 to $478 at Walt Disney World Resort in Florida starting on October the 30th. Look at that. It's already available in California. At Disney World, the pass will be priced based on specific park you're visiting. For example, blah, blah, blah. And basically gets you to the front of every line, every time, all day. Would you pay that? My question to you, would you pay?
Now at my age and everything else, no.
No.
Maybe when I was in my 20s and 30s, answer might have been, try it.
Okay.
But yes, we go quite often.
Yes.
We go a lot of times to Epcot to enjoy the concerts.
Yes.
We go sometimes because they have, like different events at Epcot.
Yes.
And, it's kind of food and wine or food and
Yes.
flour. There's always food involved because you're
I
going
love
around
that.
the world
I've been to one of the food and wine festivals. Yep.
and you're trying different foods and things like that. But you're basically getting a appetizer for the price of a full meal. But nonetheless, you get there's lots of different things to eat and try.
Yes.
So we usually, if we go, because we go now that we have the passes, we hardly ever go for more than 4 or 5 hours top end. And, so we're in and out. I don't think it would be worth it. And we're not big ride riders. We're not like,
Right.
we're not excited. We're more like the concert or the food or just like, going
The experience of it. Yes.
Yeah. Just the experience of walking around, seeing the people.
Yeah.
Being squished in like little, sardines, all the fun things that go along with all the
Disney.
screaming babies,
Screaming babies.
all the beautiful things that go along with the most magical place on earth.
Right. Right.
But
So the answer is no for you. And I think
now my son,
your son.
I see my son doing this
Oh yeah.
because that's his biggest complaint.
Waiting in line.
Waiting in line. He goes, here, I pay like, $400 for my kids.
Right.
And we all get in and we're there for like 4 hours and we're just tired of standing in lines. And we
Well,
just
yeah.
get frustrated and say, let's go.
I'm pretty sure the cheaper, I said 139 to 475. I'm sure that, if you went on a Wednesday afternoon somewhere where the park, I don't know what their quiet days are. You know that better than I do. But I'm sure if you went at a quiet time and could do like you said, if you were going for the rides, $139. Okay. That's not, it's ridiculous, but it's not crazy ridiculous to not have to wait in line at all. Okay. I can't see $500. I can't see that no matter what, but 130, $140. Yeah, maybe so.
I this is something I actually see my son and his family doing,
Sure.
but not the old man and the,
not for you. Not
yeah,
for
not-
you. I get it.
not for me.
I did a few years ago. the lady I was with at the time, she and I spent relatively big money, and we went to the SeaWorld Aquatica Park. Have you ever
that's
been
cool.
there?
Yeah.
That's like it's like Club Med in the middle of Orlando. You pay one price,
Eat, drink.
swim, whatever. The only thing that costs more is if you want to swim with the dolphins, they pay, you pay a little more from that. Okay, fine. But other than that, knock yourself out. And it's not crowded. They limit it to a certain number of people per day. And I thought that was that got a 5-star rating from yours truly, because I'm like, nice, not crowded. Eat whenever you want. Here, you need a beer, you need a Slurpee, you need a, whatever. Here you go. Knock yourself out.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's a good deal and a fun time.
Yes, it is. It really was. So I enjoyed it. Anyway, there you go. So
doesn't help when you're doesn't hurt any either when your daughter's boyfriend is a executive for SeaWorld.
And gets you in for, did you get in for free?
No. He doesn't even get in for free. He gets in for free for everything, and he can take as many people as he wants. But that, he still has to pay. Not what you nor I would pay.
Right. Okay.
But
All
there's
right.
still even a fee for him.
Interesting and good to, well, not good to know, but that's kind of interesting that's probably their cash cow, and they don't want to be giving away too many free tickets for that. So I hear you.
Hey, that's making us money. No, you can't go.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, no. At Disney World, you're just another face in the crowd. It's like, yeah, but this is like limited number of people. So cool. All right. Down to the end of the hour. Look at that. We filled up the whole hour with marijuana stories and everything else.
What? No, I can't, because I got my doctor's appointment. They'll be taking blood on Thursday. I can't.
Don't be messing up your good record there with Tampa General Hospital.
But you got me thinking now.
I know. Well, maybe when you're done.
Yeah, maybe when I get done, maybe
when you come home, pop a few gummies or something like that and see how it goes. Give it a try.
Whatever amendment that is, vote yes, people. That's all right. It's a paid political announcement, paid and approved by BJ Odom.
Wait a minute, we made no money on that. Wait a minute.
but I could be smiling.
All right, that's fine. That's good.
But I don't want to break no laws at my age.
Just go out and vote regardless. I mean, don't vote regardless. I'm just saying, just get out and vote anyway, because it's a good thing, and God knows, it makes us feel like we have some say in the matter. Not that we really do, but it's okay. All right. Have a great week. Do whatever it is you do. Be careful with those gummies and that other stuff out there. We love you. We want to see you back here next week. But until then, it's just up to BJ Odom to say,
see ya.